Alright, now that we have our terminal open, let's begin by typing in that line of code. Alright, so it's going to go ahead and run some prereqs to determine that we are in fact able to run Pi-hole on our system, and it looks like we checked out just fine. This installer will transform your device into a network-wide ad blocker. This is true, as we've talked about this already. Pi-hole is of course free and powered by our donations. It is recommended that for the least amount of hiccups in the future, that whatever device you're running this on has a dedicated static IP address to avoid any conflicts of IP addresses, or so that we don't have to reconfigure later in the future. And here we are prompted to select a DNS upstream provider, as Pi-hole actually pulls from that DNS first before adding its own blacklisting of domains that we don't want to be given to the user. For all intents and purposes, we're going to go ahead and pick DNS.watch, but feel free to pick whichever you feel most comfortable with. You can even use your own custom if you are running your own DNS. To ensure that Pi-hole is blocking these domains out of the box, it gives us a list of curated listings of domains to already block. So we're going to go ahead and leave this on so we don't have to add more later, but we can. And we're going to go ahead and leave this on by default. If you feel that you don't want this over IPv6 or just over IPv4, you can select whichever to your preference. And here it's asking us if our static IP is okay on our device, and for us it'll work. But if we were to hit no, then we would be prompted to type in our IP address and the gateway we'd use for that. And then to further on explain that, it is telling us here that if we're not running DHCP on our Pi, or not necessarily our Pi, but whichever device you're using, then you may succumb to an IP conflict. This is asking us if we'd like to install a web admin interface. Yes, we would. And we are not running a web server, so we probably should install this as well. If you are, then this may be unnecessary for you. As an admin, I think logging queries is probably a good idea. In privacy mode, just for a first time install, it might be good to just show everything for now, but if you'd like more privacy on certain things or for your clients, then feel free to pick whichever apply to you the most. Alright, so now it's going to go ahead and install our Pi-hole. And now let's wait until this is done. Alrighty, looks like we are almost done. Just running through the installer. I am running this off of a Raspberry Pi 4 Plus B, I think, something of that nature. Right here is just checking that those curated lists are working, in fact, to assure that they are being able to be blocked. Alright, so here, of course, we're going to blur out my own, but here it's going to tell us where we can access our web admin interface and give us a password to ensure that only we are able to edit whichever settings we decide to do. So, as soon as you've made note of your password, put it somewhere safe. You can go ahead and hit OK, and then you can just click on this site or go on another device and go on there, and then and then type in the password when prompted to.